Welcome to the Platform Engineering Playbook podcast, where everything you hear is built, reviewed, and improved by AI, by me, and by you, the listener. This show keeps me, and hopefully you, up to speed on the latest in platform engineering, SRE, DevOps, and production engineering. It's a living experiment in how AI can help us track, explain, and discuss the fast-moving world of infrastructure. Every episode is open source. If you've got something to add, correct, or challenge, head to platform-engineering-playbook.com. You'll find all the content and a link to the GitHub repo. Open a pull request, join the conversation, and make the playbook smarter. Let's get into it.
This Thanksgiving, let's talk about the people you've never thanked. Run npm list on any project right now. How many packages? For most Node.js applications, it's somewhere between 100 and 500 dependencies, sometimes more, each one maintained by someone. Who are they?
Here's the uncomfortable truth. 60% of open-source maintainers are unpaid for their work. That's according to the 2024 Tidelift State of the Open Source Maintainer Report. And 60% have either left or considered leaving their projects, not because of code problems, because of burnout, loss of interest, competing life demands.
We talked about this in our last episode on community sustainability. The XZUtils backdoor showed us what happens when isolated maintainers crack under pressure. A 66% drop in maintainer trust toward new contributors. But here's what we didn't cover. There's an entire ecosystem of tools designed to help you thank the maintainers you depend on. And most developers have never heard of them.
So today we're going on a gratitude discovery mission. We'll show you tools across different languages, talk about what meaningful thanks actually looks like, and give you a Thanksgiving challenge you can complete in 5 minutes.
Let's start with the Node.js ecosystem. There's a tool called Thanks that you can run right now with npx. Just type npx thanks in any project directory with a package.json. It scans your dependencies and shows you which maintainers are seeking donations.
The creator of this tool, Feroz Abu-Khadija, built it with a simple philosophy. Quote, "Put your money where your love is." The project has 2,800 stars on GitHub and 85 contributors. When you run it, you see a list of packages you depend on, organized by whether the maintainer has a funding mechanism set up.
And since NPM version 6.13, there's also NPM Fund built right in. Run NPM Fund in your project, and it lists the funding URLs for your entire dependency tree. It was a collaboration between NPM and Open Collective to make supporting maintainers frictionless.
The Rust ecosystem has its own approach. There's Cargo Thanks, which does something interesting. Instead of showing funding links, it stars the GitHub repos of your dependencies. The creator was inspired by Medium's clapping button. One command, and you've shown appreciation to everyone you depend on.
There's also Thanks Stars, a more modern tool with multi-ecosystem support. It detects dependencies from cargo.toml, package.json, go.mod, and automatically stars repos on your behalf. And Cargo Thank You generates acknowledgement documentation for your projects.
But here's where it gets interesting. Beyond stars and funding, there are more personal ways to say thanks. Have you heard of happiness packets?
It's a platform launched in 2016 that lets you send anonymous thank you notes to developers. You write what their work meant to you, and they receive it without any obligation to respond. The creators, Sasha Romine and Mikey Ariel, have sent hundreds of these packets to developers around the world.
Here's what most people don't realize. Maintainers have almost zero visibility into how their project's actually used. One of the most valuable things you can do is send an email explaining your specific use case. Not just, "Thanks for the great library," but "We use your project at our company to process 3 million requests per day. It's been rock solid for 2 years."
That specificity matters. One developer shared this on Hacker News. Quote, "Whenever I find a blog post or video particularly useful, the first thing I do is whip up my mail client and thank the authors. I never realized how much of a positive impact this has on creators until people started mailing me, thanking me for my work. Brightens up your day, really."
But we need to acknowledge the nuance here. Not all maintainers feel the same way about thank you messages. One maintainer said, quote, "Honestly, being thanked in any shape or form does nothing for me. I'd rather have users be more considerate of our time and not abuse issues in the community for supporting their laziness.
That's a valid perspective. The best gratitude combines words with action. A good bug report with a minimal reproduction is worth 100 thank you messages. A documentation PR fixing unclear instructions, that's meaningful. Contributing to the project in ways that reduce the maintainer's burden, that's gratitude in action.
So let's talk about company-level actions, because individual thanks is good, but organizational investment is transformative.
The open source pledge is a commitment for companies to pay maintainers directly. The minimum is $2,000 per year per developer at your company. Cash payments, not cloud credits, not hiring developers to work on other things. Cash to the people doing the work.
And companies are actually doing this. Antithesis contributed $110,000. That's $2,895 per developer on staff. $95,000 of that went to the Nix core team alone. Convex put in $100,000, which works out to $7,692 per developer.
GitHub has invested heavily too. In 2024, they put an additional $500,000 into maintainer sponsorships, distributing it across over 900 maintainers. May is officially Maintainer Month, a time to recognize the people who build, fix, review, and secure the code the world relies on.
ScyllaDB has a tradition of thanking open source contributors every Thanksgiving. They specifically call out the tools and frameworks their engineers rely on. It's a cultural practice that acknowledges the invisible infrastructure behind their product.
So here's your Thanksgiving challenge. 5 minutes or less.
Step 1. Run npx thanks or npm fund in one of your projects right now. See who's seeking support.
Step 2. Pick one dependency you rely on heavily, something you use every day and never think about. Step 3. Send a thank you email to the maintainer. Explain how you use their project. Be specific. Give them that visibility they almost never get.
Step 4. Consider a small donation, $5, $10, whatever's comfortable. GitHub Sponsors makes this easy. Look for the sponsor button on any repository.
And step 5. Star the repos. It takes 2 seconds and shows up in the maintainer's dashboard. It's a tiny signal that someone cares. If you listened to our last episode on community sustainability, you heard the statistics. You heard about Hankong's passing and what it meant for Kubernetes reliability. You heard about the burnout crisis. This episode is the answer to the question, what can you do about it?
The code doesn't exist without the people who write it. This Thanksgiving, those people deserve a seat at your table. A thank you email, a $5 donation, a starred repository, small gestures that say, I see you, I appreciate you, your work matters.
Until next time.
That's it for this episode of the Platform Engineering Playbook podcast. Every topic, transcript, and summary you just heard lives out in the open at platform-engineering-playbook.com, where anyone can suggest updates or add insights through GitHub. If you've got thoughts, fixes, or new ideas, open a PR. And if you enjoyed the episode, rate us on your favorite podcast platform. We're always shooting for 5 stars. While you're there, give the project a star on GitHub. It helps others find and contribute to the Platform Engineering Playbook. This podcast is generated by AI, reviewed by AI, me and you, a community of engineers keeping our craft sharp. Thanks for listening, and see you next time inside the Platform Engineering Playbook.